and this channel is all about our DIY journey on the Saskatchewan prairies. Today, we are building this garden fence. Let's get into it. Sometimes your project ambitions and your budget don't align, but I was determined to build this large, secure deer fence on a budget. You can see here I'm being incredibly precise using the hammer to mark the length of the post. Each post is cut to approximately a 12-foot length. We want to have at least a 6-foot fence, and as you're going to see later on in this video, we cut them down to equal lengths closer to the end of the project. Repurposing these power poles was by far the biggest cost saver of this garden fence build. We were able to pick them up for free. The garden build is going to be here. Its approximate size is 80 by 50, and before setting any posts, we need to mark the area. The first thing we did with this project is drill holes and set these poles. Step 1. The tractor auger used to drill out the holes is approximately 15 inches wide, and each hole is about 4 feet deep. To set the posts, first we put about a 2-inch layer of crushed rock on the bottom of the hole. From there, we place the posts, make sure it's level, and fill the remainder with crushed rock, tamping very aggressively. We repeated this process until all the posts were set. With the post set, the next step is to mark our visual level. The ground around the garden is not perfectly even, so we want to make sure the page wire we put in place is visually level. We did this using some twine. To achieve the visual level, our twine line was sitting at 5 feet in the front of the garden and closer to 66 inches in the back. We used galvanized fence wire with a 2x4 inch spacing. This was a great option that it balanced the budget and both the strength that we wanted to see out of this fence. It cost us approximately $150 per bundle, and we used about 2.5 100-foot bundles. The very bottom portion of the page wire is going to be partially underground. So before putting our wire in place, we created a trench that allowed us to bury the section. To get started putting up the wire, the first thing we did is start on the pole nearest the garden entrance. There's going to be a gate right about here, which means that we can start our wire on this post by wrapping it around and nailing it into place. Next step is stretching the wire to the next post. This is our homemade fence stretcher. Being a budget project, we decided to make the tool ourselves. It works by clamping 2 2x4s tightly together around the page wire. From there, we use 2 ratchet straps to tighten the wire to each section or to each post. This allows the fence to pull and stretch without distorting any of the wire. Although this tool did get the job done, I'm not gonna lie, it was not an easy process. As we went along stretching the wire, we made sure that the wire stayed at the same level using the leveling twine that we placed earlier in the video. This created a really nice visual, keeping the lines straight. The page wire was secured to our posts using these fencing nails. Once we came to the end of our first roll of page wire, we needed to attach the second roll so we could keep the fence going. We did this by overlaying this end section of page wire and this new section of page wire right at our post. Then you can see that we aggressively nailed things in place using fence nails. Cut the loose ends of these wires so that we had one sticking out and wrapped it around the new section of wire. We did that all along, in addition to about an overlapping 2-foot section of the old roll as well. With the new section of wire joined, we continued repeating the process with our homemade fence stretcher until we had wrapped the entire garden with page wire.
Smile, Hayward. You're on camera. So cute.
Hey guys, with the wire in place, the next step is adding something that makes it look a little bit nicer, but also adds a lot of security to our wire. So this next step, we're putting up the rails. Let's take a look at how we did that. These rails were arguably the most expensive part of the project, coming in at $10 per rail. Money well spent, I'd say. The rails were lined up and secured at the middle of each post using these large 4-inch nails. Then, at each corner, we overlapped the rails. Once the rails were fully secured around the garden, we used the chainsaw to cut off the excess. Next, I used a staple gun to secure the page wire to both the top and the bottom rail. It was a lot of staples. When we put everything in place, all of these posts were at different heights. So the last piece of the puzzle, cutting everything down to a nice even level. Let's take a look. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this massive garden fence build. There was a couple things that were pretty tricky. I'm not gonna lie, stretching the page wire with our homemade tool wasn't the easiest, but it turned out great. I'm really happy with the project. No deer in here eating my garden now.